Namaste and a very good evening to all. We wish you a very warm welcome. So good to see you all again. Yes. Today's program is not only about the joy of taking or making pictures, but it is about the joy of giving through photography. This presentation is by Mr. Saurabh Chatterjee. But before we start with the presentation, here are a few announcements. Now, I would like to inform the viewers to watch on the big screen. It's always better to watch on the computer or even better to watch it on the TV. And watch a full resolution, that is at 720p. And if you see captions, it's not from our end, but it is from the Facebook, which can be turned off at your end. And do not forget to follow Mr. Saurabh on Facebook and Instagram. Of course, you'll be seeing all his handles. We'll be bringing it up. Now, yeah. So, becoming a member of Youth Photographic Society is very simple now. Everything has been simplified, which can be done online. All you need to do is go to our website, that is ypsbengaluru.com, or you can directly scan from the image here. And do not forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Now, this presentation can be watched both on Facebook and YouTube. Do become a member and enjoy uh, the journey of taking pictures, making good images, and a beautiful hobby. Our next Sunday, do join us with with warm clothing. You need to bring out your woolens, especially the warm woolens, because Dr. Ajit, who will go, he'll be taking on us on a journey to Antarctica, the last frontier. That's going to be exciting, and it's the right season to be there. So do not forget to join us next Sunday at the same time, same place. Do subscribe so that you get a reminder about the programs. Now, I would like to invite Mr. Saurabh Chatterjee onto the screen before I introduce him. Yeah, good evening, Mr. Saurabh. Good to see
Good
you
evening,
here.
ma'am. Yeah.
Thank you so
Good
much
evening.
for agreeing to this presentation. It's really joyous to have you present for us.
Thank you, ma'am.
Now, just
It's a
to
privilege.
just to thank you. A small introduction about today's presentation and about Mr. Saurabh. Now, the presentation is the joy of giving through photography. Now, his presentation is about the three P's, that is photography, passion, and as a profession. So this amalgamation brings forth not only exotic and varied visual treats to the lovers of art photography, but shows how we can use the power of photography to bring a positive change, not only in our lives, but to our society as a whole. Mr. Saurabh Chatterjee is a travel photographer. I should also call him a gypsy photographer, because when I asked him where he was from, it was a very unusual answer. He said, "That's very difficult for me to tell you." He's, he's been all over India. He said he's from Bihar, he's, of course, a Bengali, and then he has lived in Delhi and Chennai and presently in Mumbai. So, it's very difficult to say from where he is. All I'll say is he is a gypsy photographer from all over the place. So it's going to be an interesting presentation. And he's not only a photographer, he's also a photography educator, which is very important to note. That is, he loves to teach. He loves to teach about photography. His dream is to see India and to make every camera owner a great photographer. And note, it's only a camera owner. He doesn't talk about, the sophisticated instruments or the equipment. So that's his dream. Now, he has been documenting India since 2015 when he bought his first film camera. After working in the IT industry for a decade, in 2013, he quit his job to travel and to help people take better pictures. He also organizes photography tours to different places in and around India. More than 500 of his pictures have been published in various magazines and newspapers, including the National Geographic Traveler, Lonely Planet, The Times, London, etc. Now, this is very interesting. Can you tell us what made you quit your job and take up photography as a full-time, passion, or as even a profession?
Yeah. So I always wanted to travel and take pictures, but there is hardly any career that you can make traveling and take pictures. I mean, some people do that, but I think so. A lot of my photography friends told me that when money comes into the picture, the art of photography goes, and I didn't want somebody to dictate me on how I should do things. So, like Umesh Gogna sir was saying that you should know the difference between creativity and craftsman, right? So I wanted to do things on my own term, and I could not find a way in which I can quit my job and get into something. So that's why I was working in the IT industry. I was taking pictures and going out every weekend and traveling. So life was very good for me. And then I came to Hyderabad and I joined an organization called Novartis. And there, some people came to know that I do photography. And that was the first time some people said that, okay, why don't you share whatever you know? So we did a session there in Novartis and that went really well. And that's how I started teaching. I thought, okay, so I did 2 years parallelly with my job from 2011 to 2013. I did it parallelly with my job, and then I thought I should take the leap of faith. And thankfully, I had support from my wife and my family, and then things happened. So, and I never looked back again. So some people said if it doesn't work out, you can go back join the industry, but thankfully it never happened. So, and I think I'm living my life the way I wanted to. So that's how I did that.
No, that's wonderful. It's not many people who take that kind of a decision and who have the guts to do it too. So that's kudos to you. But one thing is, you describe yourself as a educator, photography educator. So how do you go
Yeah.
about this? How do you educate people? Do you just, it's only through workshops, or do you just pick up somebody who, is on a tour, just taking a picture, and you give them some tips? How do you go about
So
educating people?
So it is not just limited, though a major part of the education that I do is through my workshops and tours. It could be anything. And now you see the photography is not limited to only the people who are having some big camera. So 15 years
Yeah,
back, photographer, oh, you are a photographer. I mean, not many people had film cameras, right? But now
yeah,
everybody has a phone. So everybody who has a phone is a photographer. And I believe that everybody must know how to take a good picture or at least know how to face the camera. So every time I talk to my brother, do a video call, sometimes the light is behind, I can't see his face. So I tell him, you have to face the light. So, everybody needs to understand how to take better pictures. And now the mobile phones that we have are so intelligent, are so great, like Ashok sir was saying, right? So everybody. So maybe the next person in my flight, or if I'm going on a train journey for 12 hours, I might share my knowledge with the person sitting next to me who does not know or doesn't want to know anything about photography. But we all take pictures at some point of time, right? So
yeah,
it is
yeah.
relevant to everybody.
So you do share it with the common man, just
Absolutely, absolutely,
huh?
absolutely. And I strongly feel that common man should understand photography. So I will tell you one
Yeah.
incident. So
Mhm.
we are all art lovers, and we know, okay, these are the rules of composition, and okay, this is a great lighting. And in one exhibition that I was doing, the electrician who was setting up the lights, and he was going back and he said, "Sir, photos are really good." Bagundi, he said in Telugu, and I felt really good because if a common man can appreciate my picture, I think that's what my job is. So I don't need, great photographers. If they do it, it's great. But if a common man can understand pictures, I think that's the way it has to be.
And I'm sure when you give a tip or two to the common man, and when he sees a sudden improvement in his own picture on the phone, that must
Yeah,
be giving you also greater joy than to the
absolutely,
person who's learning
absolutely,
actually.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
All right. So do you travel, or how do you go about your travel for this? It is only about travel photography you do, or what are the different genres that you dabble in?
Okay. So when I started, I just wanted to travel. So I was from a very small city, Patna, and I was born there. But I had a dream to travel. I don't know how this thing came in, but I was reading a lot of travel books, and I dreamed to travel to. In my history book, I read about Mahabalipuram, and I dream maybe I'll go there someday if luck takes me there. So I was always thinking of going to maybe historical places mostly. But then when I started seriously traveling, it was capturing the flavor of the place. And when I went to some place, I mean I'm always a very introvert person, so I mean it's very difficult for me to open my mouth and interact with people. But at one point of realize I'm shooting only these structures which are good, but if I'm not interacting and if I'm not taking pictures of people, then I'm missing a huge lot of India, because India is about people. We all dress so differently. If you go to the north, or even if you go 500 miles, we all dress so differently. So then I thought I should break my fear and start talking to people. So I do a lot of people photography. I love talking to people too. People photography, festival photography, maybe a little bit of food. If I'm going to a place and I have some very unique food, maybe I would like to shoot that as well. So a little bit of everything. So I try to capture the flavor of the place. It could be the culture, the people, the landscape, and of course, if I'm going to a place like Ladakh, you cannot miss shooting the stars. You can see the Milky Way so very well there. So pretty much of everything, you can say.
Mhm. So can you tell us a little, about your presentation before you start showing us your pictures and?
Right. So it might be a little boring. I don't have a very formal presentation. Of course, I'm going to show you some pictures, but it is about, we all start photography at some point of time, and we all feel sometimes we are not very confident about our pictures. We feel that maybe my photos are not good. I mean, there are so many great photographers in the world. Where is the place for my picture? Nobody appreciates my picture. We all feel that, and especially the youth now. I mean, we are so much obsessed about getting likes on Instagram and Facebook, and at some point of time, people think that I don't know, maybe I'm not getting much likes, I'm not good enough, and people quit. I've seen a lot of people quitting photography because I mean, their purpose is to get likes, and that is not happening. Now, I started giving pictures. I did it just once. I remember I gave it to, I just took a print. I was going for some other work, and I thought maybe let me take a print. I'm going to that place, and then I took a print, and then it was like a festival in the village. The first time I did it. Okay, so I went to a small village, and I had carried about 15 prints of the people which I took in the village. This village was about 150 kilometers from Hyderabad, and I was so overjoyed to people to see how they looked 1 year back. So it was like a festival in the village. Everybody gathered, and I thought, wow, this is the power I have as a photographer. Those pictures, if you talk about me, if I show them to you, you will say, oh, this is a worthless picture. Maybe you will say like that, but those people, for them it was such amazing delight they had for taking pictures. And then I started doing it more seriously. That's how I started, and I've been doing this since quite some time. And I have taught this to my students also, whoever comes to me. So and this is how even people, when people started appreciating my pictures, these people, then I felt okay. I think I'm doing something good. I mean, people are appreciating my pictures. Some people value my pictures. So this is something which I tell everybody to do. If possible, you can just share your pictures with somebody, maybe your relatives. So that will give you a really boost your confidence that there are people who value your pictures. And once you start believing that you can take a good picture, I mean, people value your pictures, you will see that your photography improves significantly, because it is all about believing that you can do something.
Yeah, yeah, that's a nice way of doing photography. I'm sure of that. Yeah, and so shall we go ahead with your presentation now?
Yeah. Okay. So all right. So I'm going to share a few pictures, but before that, maybe I'll just tell a little bit about. Uh, okay. So first of all, Thank you so much, YPS Satish sir, ma'am, to give me this opportunity. So uh, it's a great privilege to be here. It's really a great privilege. And my pictures are, I will show you my pictures. It might be a little disappointing that I might not show a lot of pictures, but I will show, I mean, I will not disappoint you. I'll make sure it is worth of your time. And this will be really beneficial to you if you are taking some actions based on what you hear. And believe me, if you are doing something like that, it will be really very helpful for you to improve your photography, or you will see that you will start feeling much better about the feeling that I had, the feeling that my pictures are not good enough. Maybe this will change and things will be much better. And the reason I'm showing you these things, the contents that I'm showing you now, it is not just to show that okay, I've done so many things. It is just to tell you, to inspire you, that if I can do something like that, then anybody can. Okay, so I don't consider to be a really great photographer, and if I can do this with my average pictures, I think you all can. The great people we have in the YPS or other people, you can do a lot more than what I have done. So it is just about taking the initiative and doing something about it, right? So as I was telling, a lot of people discontinue because of lack of motivation, and this can become a big motivation for you if you start doing something. Okay. So first, I will tell you why give, why spend time giving. So I have been to so many places where people take people's pictures, and then they say okay. They ask a picture. A lot of people, when you take their pictures, they will ask, "Can you give me a print?" And then we say, "Okay, we will give you." And then that day never comes. And I have seen so many situations like that. But I thought, okay, let me give and see. So there are times people said that there are so many times people have said that they will give the pictures, but it never happened. So you are the first person who is coming and giving the pictures. So in this way, it is good for the whole photography fraternity. When a person after me goes to the same place, he will get a better treatment, because once you give a picture, the kind of joy that you get, that is just amazing. I'm going to show you some pictures, and I'm going to tell you some other possibilities also. What are the things where you can start, and what are the things what you can do with the circle that you have. Okay, so yeah, so I'm going to start with. So I'll tell you the story about how. Just 1 second. I have to.
No problem.
Okay.
Take your time.
So yeah, are you able to see my picture? Okay, great.
Yes.
So I'll just tell you short stories on how we started doing things, and how it went really large. We started doing these things on a large scale. So me and my wife, we both stay in Hyderabad. We were there till for 10 years. We were staying there, and we used to feel very lonely on Diwali, because I mean, we are just two people. There is nobody to celebrate, and otherwise in other my wife had a really big family in Mumbai, so it was very difficult. So we thought, let us do something. So there are a lot of my students who were also interested. So I asked one of my friend, Akhil. So he said, can we do something? And we celebrate, and maybe we can make it as a photo tour. We can go and take some pictures and document the experience. So and then I just posted on Facebook, and I got such overwhelming response. This was about 7 years back. That was the first time we started celebrating Diwali, and our purpose was to just buy some fireworks and then go to the orphanage. There is one orphanage which we go every year. That is Radha Krishna Balika Bhavan. Unfortunately, this year it was not. We could not do it. So we went there. We were taking pictures, and it was such a moment of joy for the people who joined me for this. And the first time, I think there were about 30 to 35 people, and every year. So and it's Diwali time, so a lot of times people cannot join us because it is Diwali. So they said, we can't join. So can we contribute in some way? So people send even small amounts. We could. So initially it was just a small budget for these sweets, but then we got more budget than we actually wanted. Then we started sponsoring the food and the ice cream. So another friend of mine sponsors the ice cream, and we ourselves distribute. So here we see, we go there and we distribute, and then you can also see maybe some people taking pictures. So it is such a great moment for us. And and people started bringing their kids, people who joined us, that because they should also see and how they can uh, you know teach the kids that they are so privileged to be the kind of things that they are getting there. So this is something we started, and this is the thing that makes me really happy when I go. And I actually don't do much. It is just about organizing and setting things right. So it is just about organizing. You just have to start somewhere. You can just go to maybe a nearby place and then do something like that. And it is just the power of photography that we are able to do this thing. Okay, so this is one thing which we have been doing, and it's a great joy for me. So the other thing that you can get started is you print your pictures. See, nowadays it is, I feel very bad that we don't print our pictures now. So we just see them on the small screen. I hate to see pictures on Instagram, but I don't have a choice. I have to be there. I love to see it in big screen. So at least a 23-inch screen, or much better in a print. So I would always advise people to print your pictures. Okay, so if you can print your pictures, you will see it gives a different joy. No matter, even if you have a retina display or whatever, it can't match the quality of a print. And it's a big learning. So when you print your pictures, it's a big learning for you, because sometimes the print does not come out the way you want to. So you have to understand calibration and a lot of other things as well. So it's a different ball game printing your picture. So it will be a good learning for you as well. And of course, if you can print your pictures, so there are some friends, so this calendar, this friend of mine, Amnish Pitti, he sends his calendar to me every day. Every year he sends his calendar. And I also I actually raise funds through selling my calendar. So this year I could not do that, but every year I sell my calendars to raise funds and then gift it to an NGO who is needy. So that is one thing I do. And that makes me very happy, because somebody is giving a place in their desk or their wall. Okay, it could be ordinary pictures, and sometimes they are very ordinary. I will tell you, I went to UK for the first time. This was in 2005. I went there. These are very ordinary pictures. They are not great, but I this was the first time I went to London. So I just took a small board and made it into a, I mean, picture postcard. These are with my own pictures, and gifted to all my friends and relatives, and they appreciated it a lot. So though you see these are very ordinary pictures, it gave me a lot of happiness, because I was giving something to them. And in turn, what I got was, I had a feeling that people appreciated my pictures. There are people who value my pictures. They treasure it. So that is the kind of feeling I got when people did like that. So later what happened is, yeah, so then I started. So there are a lot of incidents that happened with us, which, you see, this is another thing which I did. So I thought, what more can I do with my photography? So okay, so what more can I do? So there is an organization in Bangalore-based organization called Rangde, RANGDE.in. So that's their website. So they provide microfinance to a lot of villagers. Okay, so a lot of people who don't need a loan like 5 lakhs. They need small loans like 10,000 or 20,000. The vegetable vendors, or the people who they are very small. They need loans in very small people. And these vegetable vendors, they borrow money from people, and then they whatever they earn, they have to give it to the money lender. They hardly have anything left with them. So this organization is doing a great job in giving microfinance. You might like to join that organization. So you can invest as less as rupees 100, and you actually see where your money is going. You can actually send your money to somebody in Nagaland, having some lady who is weaving. So you can send as low as 100. So I found it very interesting. So I was doing an assignment for Femina. So that's how I got introduced to the founder, Smita and Ram. So these two people who founded that organization. So I said, okay, can we do something more? So it was just an assignment for Femina. I had to cover her. I took pictures and then I went back. It was published. So I had this in mind that we can do something about it. So she said that, okay, we have a lot of these villages around in Telangana, around Mehboob Nagar, where we are providing this microfinance to the women there, and they have done really well. So I thought, okay, why not organize a trip to this place? So we all so I just posted, and then we got quite good response. And then we went to this village. We spent a whole day with the farmers, and we documented their work. So right from the morning to the evening, we documented their work, and these are some of the pictures from so these people farming. So you can see, so it was covered by the Hindu as well. So we did this, and then we came back with pictures. Everybody submitted their pictures, and we did exhibitions in Bangalore and in Hyderabad in several places, and we were able to raise funds for the organization. So it was again a great moment for me where I was able to, give back to the society in some way. So there are a lot of opportunities if you think about, you can do it. Another occasion I will tell. So I met a school friend I met after 20 years. So he was in Delhi. So I was just passing by. Whenever I go to the Himalayas, I come back to Delhi. So I thought, let me meet him this time. So I went to his home, and then he was there with his lovely daughter. So I thought, let me take a picture. I had my camera. I just took a casual picture. I went back home and took a print and took a canvas print and gifted it to him. And the kind of joy that he was so happy to see that picture. So if you can gift a print nowadays, you see we all have a mobile phone. If you send the picture on WhatsApp, you might not get that impact, but at least that is something you can do. So there are a lot of people who do street photography. So if you can at least send the picture to the person through WhatsApp, so we all have nowadays the cameras, they are all connected. You can connect them to your mobile phone, and you can just gift I mean, send it to WhatsApp. But a much bigger impact will be when you can print the pictures and gift it to them. So I'm going to show you a few more examples. So which will Okay, and I'll tell you some stories which I had. So some very interesting stories which I had when I went to these places. So, and if you have any questions, you can ask me. So I will tell you some more opportunities of how you can get started, how you can contribute to these people. Just
Yeah.
one second.
And this is for the viewers. If you have any question, you can just put up a queue, and then put up your question in the comment section, comment box, and we'll bring it up and for Mr. Saurabh to answer.
Okay. So
And in the end, anyway, we are going to have a question answer session. But if any question pertaining to any particular slide, please do post it.
yeah. Okay. So I hope you are liking the whatever I am saying. I hope you are not getting bored of these things. So
I don't think it's boring in any this thing. Yeah, of
okay.
course, it's
So
interesting. Yeah.
So this is one village in Spiti. So the first time I went
Uh-huh.
there, I took this picture of this person, quite an old person, and I went there next year with his picture, and so it was good to see him. And these people are so friendly. They are anyways very friendly. So when I went there, he was so happy that he said that you come home, and he would not let me go back without having tea at his place. So that is the kind of
Mm.
so you kind of become a part of their family when you do something like that. So unknown people become a part of your family. So things
Yeah.
like that can happen when you go to places like this. And sometimes I go to these villages, and I let them use my camera. I let them use my camera. I
Mm-hmm.
tell them how to take a picture. You see, I told this other guy that you have to first put the strap, and then you should take a picture, because this is a heavy camera, it will fall down. So see, this guy is helping the other one to do that properly. So it's a lot of joy when you are able to do these things. So spend some time with the kids, and they also get to see how the outside world is, because they probably have never got chance to go beyond the nearest city that they have there, right? So things like this. And I love finding those people is again a riddle. So a lot of times,
Mm.
you have to go from house to house, and then
Mm.
some people say, but these are very small villages, so everybody knows where you have to go. But sometimes I don't have time, but I try to give them personally, if possible. I try to give them personally. So I was looking for this girl who I shot, and the very interesting thing is, if I meet them after a couple of years, their faces change, so I cannot recognize them. Some people have
Yeah.
gone thin, some people have gone fat. So it's a very interesting thing to meet them and give them the pictures. And lot of them they also get surprised because they don't remember sometimes that somebody had taken their picture. So they also get taken away by surprise. So this
So
is the
is
first
it
time I gave
often
to
that
this.
you go back to the same places
Yes,
for a
so
shoot?
because I organize photo tours, so there are some places which I go back very regularly. And of course, there are some places where I want to go back again and again. So there are so many places which are my favorite. So sometimes maybe just with my wife, because I don't have a full-time job. So most of the time we stay out of our home. So it's only because of
Mhm.
COVID I'm here. But
Yeah.
yeah, we frequently go back to different places and we stay for little longer time so that we can be a part of the family and we try to stay prefer homestay, so that really helps. We connect with the family really well.
This is a lovely picture of the lady,
Yeah,
her
yeah.
previous
So
picture and here.
yeah she looks Yeah, she looks pretty much the same. So
Yeah.
this is sometimes people
Mm.
gather, all the women come here, come here. This is her picture. So it's very interesting. So
Mm.
so a lot of people don't recognize. So this is a priest in the key monastery. So I went there
Mm.
and then he was very surprised to see my picture and the kind of warmth he gave. He said that come here, have tea with us, and then we went inside and we had tea with them. So it was a great experience. So you will be able to connect so well to people. They will make you a part of their family if you just do one thing. So unknown people become known when you can do something like that. And it does not really, neither it costs a lot of money nor a lot of
Yeah.
effort. It just you just put them together and just before going
Mm.
for a trip you just have to have it. That's it.
Yeah.
Okay, so these are some pictures from the different villages that I have been to. Yeah, you can. Yeah, exactly, sir. Yeah, so you can see the joy on their faces. They are, and sometimes these are barriers beyond the. Sometimes some people are little. They are not very reluctant. So I remember going to a village called Chitkul, so which is at the border of China. So they are not very. Sometimes they don't allow you to take pictures. They are not very. They're a little reluctant. But when I
Mm.
went to them next time, so I just requested them, can I take a picture? And then when I went back the next time, they were able. I mean, they were ready to do anything for me. They were so happy to see me back with the pictures. And I will tell you one more. So you see, sometimes you see because of our religion, sometimes in especially in the Muslim religion, there are some people who are not very happy. I mean, you just have to convince them sometimes that I'm taking a picture. But you see, when I'm meeting this lady for the second time, so she was so happy. She was treating me like her son, so she was so happy to see her picture. So you see how so
Mhm.
I don't. So there are just a few pictures I have. I do. I mean, I don't really spend a lot of time taking. So I ask people who are with me to take a few pictures, and so see how this girl has grown. So this is the picture which I took a couple of years back, and how he looks now. So the long
Mm.
hair is gone.
Mhm.
So this is in Kalpa. There is a place called Kalpa in Kinnaur district, and so these people have apple orchard. There are a lot of the whole area is filled with apple orchard, and so I met this girl. So I remembered her name. Her name was Shivani. So I called Shivani, come here, idhar aao. So I said, and she was so surprised that I knew her name. So I mean, she got little scared also. So I said, come here, I have something for you. And then she came to me, and then I showed her the picture. She was so surprised, and then she ran back. And then I don't know. I
Mm.
thought I don't know what happened. She ran back, and then she came back with her mom. So and her mom talked to me, and then he said, "Ma'am, we can't let you go without having tea at our place." I said, "Ma'am, uh, we are 10 people, so it will be very difficult." So we were not ready to go, and then we were also we wanted to go see other places. So she came back with a box of apples for everybody of us. So
Mhm.
these people are so kind and generous. You see, you just do little bit, and then they open
Yeah.
up their hearts. And so now when we go to these places, they are like a part of my family. I can stay with them. So so that's what you can see in these pictures.
Yeah. Yeah. If we can have the comment by Satish, I would like to just add to that. Yeah, he says, this is from Satish. He says, no happiness can match the joy of giving in any manner. I remember when
Yeah,
we joined the club, I mean, we did not know anything about, taking, especially when we went for street photography and all that. Well, we went to take pictures, but we had never thought of taking back the pictures and giving it to people. And I remember Satish telling us, anywhere
mm,
you go, you take a print and go and give it. That really breaks the ice and that makes them happy, and in turn, it makes you
absolutely,
happy. So I see that you've
absolutely.
been doing a lot of that, and this is
Yeah,
what we have also been taught at the club.
yeah,
And a lot of
absolutely.
people are doing that. Yes.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
you can give in any way. Maybe you see there are so many people, so generous people in your in the. I see people sharing knowledge so openly. Like Satish sir, if you ask him somebody, or there are so many people around me. If I ask them, they are so open to sharing their knowledge. So that is another way you can light up another lamp. It's like that.
Mm.
So
Mhm.
so we all, if we keep sharing knowledge with others, we are making so many brilliant people improve their photography. So, so this is what. So in the school, so this is in a government school in
Mm.
the last village in that place. It's called Mood village. So we went to the school and spending time with the kids, and we generally carry a little bit of chocolate so that we give to them, and then of course the biggest delight is to see them, see their pictures, and we can't recognize them. You see this guy, you see he's holding his picture. I could not recognize because he looks so different in this picture, because kids
Mhm.
grow and they really change
Mm.
in a year, right? So
Mm. Uh, Saurabh, we cannot hear you. I think you're on mute. You'll have to unmute yourself. No, it's still you're still on mute. No, can you unmute? You'll have to you'll have to do it on the StreamYard. Yeah, on the StreamYard screen.
yeah, I got it. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it
Now you're
should work now.
audible. Yeah,
Okay,
that's okay.
great.
Yeah.
So I will tell you one incident which really changed my perception about what is a good picture. Okay, so there is one picture of a gentleman which I took, and I actually don't have that picture with me. I didn't want to take a picture in that place. So he was probably of my age. He asked me to take a picture, and so he asked me to take a picture, and I was little reluctant because you see, sometimes we are very selfish. We want to take pictures of people who look very photogenic, right? So some wrinkles, some interesting faces.
Mm.
So and that guy
Mm.
was like me, a very ordinary guy with wearing a shirt or something. So but then just for his sake, I took a picture. So I got this picture, and then I kept it with me. It was lying in my hard drive doing nothing. And then the next time I was going to the same place, I thought, okay, I have this picture lying with me. Let me take a print of this picture as well. So it was not a great picture by any means. It was just a very ordinary picture. The light was bad, but I took a print. And when
So,
I went to
so
that
you're
village,
not
so
particular that the lighting conditions have to be in a certain way, the background has to be in a certain way. You're not very particular about this when you do
well,
portraits.
sometimes I am. I really,
Hmm.
when I'm doing, I want the best of lighting and the best of composition and expression. But a lot of times it is not possible. So I just
Hmm.
take it the way it is. So I mean, if possible, I would come back to a place and take pictures again. But a lot of times it might not be possible if we have a very fixed kind of a plan. So that is how it is sometimes. So so I went back to that place and I was looking for a house. The house, I remembered the doorway because there was a ibex
Yeah.
on the door. So I looked, I knocked that door, I found that place, and a lady came out. Okay, I knocked the door and a lady came out, and I gave the picture to her, and she was very sad, and I could see her eyes watery. I thought, what's
Hmm.
wrong? What happened? So I asked her, what is wrong, ma'am? So she said that he is my husband and he passed away 3 months back in a road accident. So you see, that picture for me is a very ordinary picture, but for somebody else, that's a very special picture. She would probably
Yeah.
treasure it for the whole of her life, right? Because
Mhm.
those people might not have any print of the
Picture
picture,
also.
right? So
Yep.
for her it is so special, but for me it's a very
Mhm.
ordinary picture. Maybe I would not get
Mhm.
any, I mean, acceptances or anything. But yeah, so
Mhm.
this is how my perception about a good picture changes. I will
Mhm.
also tell you about one story of a student of mine. He is from Patna, Bihar. So he once realized he faced a situation where he went to a village and a person had passed away, and
Mhm.
they did not have a picture of him, so that, I mean, on the they have some puja after the death, right? So
Mhm.
there was no picture of him. So he was so shocked that, I mean, there are people like that. So he goes to the villages and take pictures, and he gives pictures to them. So he got inspired for me, and now he is doing these kind of activities.
Yeah.
So
See, this
it's
is
a,
going beyond photography. This is going so much
yeah,
beyond photography. It's a very good thought because normally,
yeah,
people generally what happens when we learn photography and when we come into this field, all you're thinking of is getting the best picture, with a good lighting, with a
right,
good background,
right,
and the right kind of expression. But it is so important for a photographer to go beyond all this and also think of the subject, the person who is being photographed, and do something for them. Yeah, this is
right,
some a very good learning for all photographers. I'm sure. It's
yeah.
yeah.
So I believe the photograph that I take will probably die in my hard drive with me. But if I can do something for
Hmm.
the others, that will stay beyond me, right? So
Hmm.
that's
Hmm.
what I try to do. So this is one lady. So I took her picture when she used to work in the field. So I took her picture in the field when she was coming back after a long day, and now she is sick, so she does not go out to work in the field, and it was quite a tough climb to go to her house. And I met her, and she was so happy because she is in the bed, and she does not probably meet a lot of people, and she was so happy to see me. And when we went to her, so they also wanted to give back something. So you see, these people are so generous, so very generous. So they make small woolen socks. So they gave me a socks for so I don't have kids. So she said that, okay, you can give it to somebody. So my brother had a kid, so I brought it for her. So there are a lot of situations, like that, which have really changed my perception about, taking pictures. And now I think even if my pictures are not good, doesn't matter. If I can do something like this, it will be of great help to others. I mean, at least I can, spread the word that we photographers are not just selfish. I mean, we can give back in some way. I will show you one more. There are so many. So
Hmm.
this girl, I shot her in 2009. So this is Turtuk village. This is the last village of India, in Ladakh, at the northernmost point of India. I shot her in 2009, and I always, so every year I go there. I wanted to find her and give the picture, and unfortunately, it could not happen. So only last year, I thought, I was determined that I would find her and give the picture. And I was asking everybody, and then finally I found her, and then she was coming back from college, and she was so shocked to see her picture after 10 years. So she was like a kid 10 years back, and you see, now she has grown up. And then we went to her place, and she offered us water, and it was such a great experience to, do this thing. And it sets a good example. So people who come with me, or who see me, on my students, whoever, so people have started doing this, and they say, we have given it to people, and they put it on their wall, and they feel so happy about it. So this is something which. And then one more thing, so there I am also associated with a lot of organizations. So one is Art for Causes. So it is led by a lady called Amita Talwar. So she organizes exhibitions, and then we do fundraising activities. So even for the earthquake in Nepal, so we did a fundraising activity, and we were able to generate about 2 lakhs, and we could send it to a local Rotary club. A friend of mine, Rajesh Pomnani, so he's always a great friend and guide. So he said we can do something about it. So he's a part of the Rotary. He's a Rotarian. So he said we can do a activity, we can do exhibition. So we did one exhibition and then one after other, and we were able to generate this money, and we could send it to a Rotary Club in Nepal, and that was used to build schools in there. So a lot of schools there. So that was a great thing for us. So you see, this is a part of the exhibition that we did, and
Mhm.
with the organization Art for Causes, we also did one activity. So we did a full course on photography to the kids. So we chose a government school, and there were about 40 kids, both male and female, so boys and girls, and we were able to get cameras. So we had cameras, we gave the cameras to them, and we did a full photography 6 week photography course with them, and we did a exhibition. So so that's another exhibition that we did. You can see some. So that was another great opportunity for us. We were able to, this is, so we did this full class with them, and we did it. So this is a part of the exhibition. So so when you start doing something, you see things open up. So you have more possibilities on how what more you can do. Okay, so this was one of the great moments for us. So, and the purpose was to help them understand if they could take this as a career opportunity. And there were, out of 30, there were 10 people who said very firmly that I really want to take this seriously, and I really enjoyed taking pictures, and I was able to I mean I'm thinking seriously to take this as a profession. So, and what could be greater than giving them some kind of guidance so that they can have a career opportunity in photography.
Yeah.
So
I see that there are a lot of comments which are coming up saying, appreciating your initiative. Right now, there is Prashant Kulkarni who says, Saurabh everyone does photography for self satisfaction and you're doing for others without expecting anything. So he says it's a great initiative. There were other two comments also earlier which came up, which did appreciate your, like Murli says, it's amazing that you're able to recognize people even after 10 years. So, have you had, of course, you did say that once you were not able to recognize, but when you don't
yeah,
recognize people, how do you go about, tracing them and giving back the picture to them?
so I don't have
So,
to
you
do
must have
anything. I mean,
faced
I cannot.
problems in that. Huh?
Yeah. So I cannot recognize them because most, especially when you take pictures of kids, they grow really very fast, and when you meet them after a couple of years, they look so different. You see in the pictures. So it
Yeah.
is just about going to everybody and asking, have you seen this guy? Who is, where is his house? And
Uh-huh.
generally these villages are so well connected to each other. They will say that there are sometimes you see, can you see that hill? So that guy is from that hill. So sometimes I'm disappointed I can't go there, but sometimes as luck
Hmm.
happens, they are around, maybe coming visiting a school, so I can give it to them. So I still have a lot of pictures with me in print which I could not give. So and generally I give them, I give it to the villagers. I tell them that okay, next time this boy or the girl comes, you can give it to them. So that's how I do.
Mhm. Okay.
So if anybody can do something like this, I think that will be, so can start with something, and we all can contribute. So even if I have seen lot of people, so a lot of people are wildlife photographers or landscape photographers. So you can take prints and you can at least give it to your friends. So they will be so happy to have a print. And so yeah, sir was saying that yeah, I'm doing it selflessly. Actually, I'm also a selfish person. So that gives me so much of happiness. Probably that's the reason I'm doing this thing. So it
Yeah.
makes me feel so. If I feel that maybe my photos, sometimes I'm having a bad day. I think that nothing is going right and nothing great is happening. But when I see these pictures, when I see the smiles, then it makes me feel that I have done something. So that really makes me happy, and living the life a little worthwhile.
Yeah. Yeah. It's always a two-way this thing. When you give, you also receive something. Happiness is
Yeah,
something that you're receiving here when you're giving. So yes,
right,
it always works two-way. That's true.
right. And I will tell you one more incident. You see, my wife, we are both very much interested in Ladakhi culture, and so they have a mala. So they always this everybody has a mala. They worship that mala. So that has 108 beads. And then when that 108 finishes, there is another counter. It's like an abacus thing. They call it chupche. So they use it, and then once the 108 thing is done, they put it. So that's a counter for the next level counter. And so my wife bought that chupche, and she was just using it as a decoration. She was wearing it on her hand. And we were passing by an orphanage. I mean, we didn't know that. I mean, we could see there was an old age home board there, but we stopped there for taking some other pictures. So there were some farmers harvesting, so we were taking those pictures. And one old lady called my wife, and then she was started talking, and then she saw that chupse in her hand, and she asked, "Would you give it to me?" So I said, "Okay, why do you need this? So don't you have one? Because it's a very important part of their religion to have that. Okay, and it's a necessity for them because they are praying and they want to do that next level counting." So she did not have that. So she called me and we were a little surprised. And she said, "No, we don't have chupse." So we thought, okay, we will buy for everybody. So it's a small thing. So then we asked them. So if they don't have this thing, maybe they would probably might not have some other necessities as well. So we asked them. So I mean, what is that you need? What do you think you need? So they said it's very cold here, and then it was a old age home of about 60 people. So there, this is a old age home just little before the key monastery. So people who have traveled to Spiti Valley, that's the key monastery. It is just 500 meters before the key monastery. You will see the big board. You will see the old age home. So then we thought, okay, we can do something. We can ask everybody to contribute and then give the jacket to everybody. So, but it was a lot of money. So I mean, if you buy a jacket, it costs a lot of money, right? So, but the people who were with me, they were absolutely ready to contribute, and then we contributed. And the next day, so they thought we would never be coming back, and it was not there in the itinerary, so we never go to the same place again. So but then everybody was very cooperative. So next morning we went there, and with a bag full of jackets, the whole car was full of 60 jackets, you can imagine. And it was such a great moment. And they hugged us, I mean, like my grandma would hug me. So it was such a great moment. I mean, we were able to connect with those people so well, and that the joy that you get once you do it. I mean, I'm sure a lot of
Yeah.
people do it. So you will be able to see that it's worthwhile. It is so worthwhile taking little bit of effort and getting so much of joy, right? So probably I'll finish this here, and not to disappoint people. So I'm a travel photographer, so I don't. Also, maybe I can talk a little bit about my travels and my pictures that I have. So I will show you some of my pictures. So okay, so or if you have any questions, you can ask me. Whatever questions you have, you can
Yeah,
definitely.
whenever a question comes up, I will interrupt you. You can go ahead with your pictures.
Okay. So I will show you some pictures that I have taken. I have traveled quite a lot in India, so my dream is to see India really well. At least if I can see, I believe one lifetime is not enough to see India. So
Yeah.
uh, and because if I go to some places later, you see, I am also improving as a photographer. So if I go back to, so now I was in Chennai 10 years back. I want to go back again because I have more. Little more knowledge. I have better gear, so probably I can take little
Yeah.
better pictures when I'm
Yeah.
traveling to places. So I'm going to show you some pictures of my different places in India. So this is a very small. This is one of my favorite places. Uh, this is
Hmm.
uh, this is the biggest river island in India. It is called Majuli. This is in Assam. Okay, this is in Assam, the largest river island, and it is such a beautiful place. Everybody must go there once. So it's a very isolated island. The culture of the place is so warm. Everybody in the village, there are a lot of different tribal people who stay there, and so it was just by luck. I was at the right place at the right time. I got this picture, but yeah. So this is of the Apatani tribe. So these people, this is in Arunachal Pradesh. So there is a place called Zero. Zero is more famous for the music festival that happens there every year. But these people are also famous for this elderly women. So nowadays, the younger generation does not do that. So they have these nose plugs, and these people are
Mm-hmm.
also very known. Uh, I mean, in the whole world for the kind of farming they do. They do rice farming and they harvest fish also at the same place. And it is actually a very good way of farming, because I mean it's one of the most productive ways of farming. So people come from abroad to study how they do the farming. So it's
Okay.
something very unique to their place, and of course you take pictures of these people. So I'll tell you a very funny incident. So sometimes these people are little reluctant to take pictures. And once I was, in Arunachal Pradesh, they all have something, a small sword like thing. They call it a dao. Everybody has it. It's
Oh,
just like the Brahmins have the sacred thread. It's everybody
oh,
has it. So previously it was more for cutting the forest, but now it is more of a symbolic thing. They always have it with them. And I was taking picture of a lady, and she got offended for some reason, and she came running with me for that. But generally when I'm going like that, I want to know what is wrong, why are people doing like that. I mean, I really want to, and my I'm not a thief. I'm just going, I'm just capturing to to showcase the beauty of India to everybody. That's my purpose. So why should I fear? So then I went to her
but
court,
don't you
and then I
ask
asked her.
them earlier before taking a picture? Don't you ask them if you can take a picture?
Yes,
Isn't that
generally I do.
huh.
Yeah, generally I
Hmm.
do, but sometimes you see there are some candid moments which you will not get when. So 90% of the 99% of the shot, I ask them before taking a picture,
Okay.
and lot of times, when you take out your camera, you come to know whether from their body language that whether they
Huh.
are approving it or not, right? So sometimes
Hmm.
you can
Hmm.
make out,
Hmm.
so then you can talk to them. So this lady,
Hmm.
so I asked her what is wrong. So then, with the help of our driver, we came to know that these people, these tribals, think that if you take a picture, their life will reduce. So
Yeah,
so that's
that's
how
what
they think.
exactly I
So
was thinking
yeah,
now, because a lot of them
yeah. So
do think that. Yes.
yeah, so they think like that. Okay, so when I am traveling, I'm documenting. I'm not just shooting beautiful mountains. I'm also documenting the way. So this was a traffic jam. So we were going to Spiti Valley, and this was a traffic jam. And you can see what is causing the traffic jam. So this is caused by this sheep going back home, right? And with the light coming from the other side, so I was able to take this picture.
Mhm.
Okay, so this is a village called Malana. Malana village is more famous for the Malana scene, so the marijuana of that place. And yeah, so recently it was in news. But so this village is very beautiful, and in the whole of Himachal, you will have this very elaborate wooden carved temples. So whenever I take portraits, I generally don't take. Previously I used to take just a tight curve of the face, but now I try to include a lot of the background as well. So here you can see I have included this background. So it tells a little bit more about the place rather than just the
Mm.
face of that girl. And I love shooting the Milky Way because I go to a lot of places in the hills, and it's a great opportunity to shoot the Milky Way. And so shooting the Milky Way, you see
Mm.
the Milky Way is the same wherever you go. It will look the same any part of the world, but it is the foreground elements that make the difference to the picture. So you always have to be little innovative on how you can have a great foreground element to make the picture look more interesting. So that's what I try to do. So every time I go, I try to find some new ways. And you can also see my
Was
shadow
this
here. So I
your
thought,
campsite? You had
yeah,
camped
yeah, this is
here?
the place where we stayed. Yeah, yeah. So this
Hmm.
is Chandratal Lake, and this is the campsite. And yeah, so I was getting my shadow also in the picture. So I thought, let me, maybe I will just
Hmm.
include that as well. So this was one of the difficult pictures to take. It's not technically not very difficult once you know. I mean, just like a formula. Once you know the formula, you can take this picture.
Hmm.
But the challenging part is to sit for 1 hour waiting for this thing to finish. So the camera does its
Yeah.
job. You are just sitting,
Yeah.
shivering in the cold. Even no matter how much you wear, it is very very challenging to just sit there and just wait for this thing to get over. And one more thing which I had learned the hard way. So initially I was always obsessed about taking pictures. So every time I was going to a place, such beautiful places, and then I was so obsessed about taking pictures. And I
Hmm.
came back home at one point of time. I realized that okay, I have got some shots, but I didn't enjoy the place. Not even for 5 minutes. I sat down and really enjoyed the serenity of the place. And then I thought this is not right. So now when I go to places, I make sure that I'm just sitting down for some time, relaxing and just enjoying, absorbing the place with all my senses, with the eyes, everything, just enjoying the beauty of the place. So this is what I tell people. So whenever you go to a place, you see a beautiful place, just sit down for some time. If you go to a monastery, of course, if
Mm.
you are there for taking pictures, do take pictures, but just spend some time, maybe 5 minutes sitting down, meditating, and just absorb that place. And that's how you that the experience about being the place will definitely get enhanced when you do something like this.
Mm.
So this is in Hyderabad. I stayed in Hyderabad for 10 years, and my heart is still there. And this is a Charminar, as you can see. This was a we went there, and then it started raining all of a sudden, and Sunday evening everybody goes shopping there, and these people are, you can see the worry in their faces, how are they going to go back to their places after the
Mhm.
shopping. It started raining all of a sudden, and then you see this cycle person came. So that's how I got this shot. So this is in again in the northeast in Meghalaya. So we were sitting in a tea stall. We were just having tea, and even when I'm doing anything, so the background process of how can I get a shot is always in the back of my mind. So I saw these two. I saw a very beautiful frame, but there was nobody there, so I didn't want to take a picture. And then I saw these two brothers sister
Mm.
probably coming here, and then I got this shot. Okay, so this is in Chitkul village. So the magic of light, the play of light and shadows, clouds. So it's so dramatic being in the hills. So only this year probably is 1 year, maybe after 15 years. I have not been to the hills this year. So, but yeah, maybe next year I'll compensate. So
Yeah,
morning light you can
everybody's
see. So it's
missing on traveling this
yes,
year, so that is why we are seeing a lot of pictures. They're
yeah,
compensating with pictures now. Yeah.
right. So lot of time, you know, I shoot with just the 18 to 55, just the kit length, and sometimes I want to shoot wider so I can take several pictures and stitch them into one picture. So this is
Mhm.
basically five pictures stitched into one picture. So it
Mhm.
was beyond the angle of view of my camera, so I took several vertical shots and stitched them into one picture. And Lightroom does the job very well. So Lightroom or
Yeah.
Photoshop, any software like that, so it will do a flawless job in stitching the pictures together. So people say I don't have a wide angle, so I can't take that kind of picture. So it's actually
Yeah.
better taking several shots and stitching them into one picture. And so looking around, so whenever I'm shooting, I just, as I said before, I'm not just looking for portraits. I want to capture the environment as well. So this was in a school in Himachal Pradesh in Spiti Valley. So I thought, okay, let me include that kit as well. So maybe it will make a
Mhm.
good picture. So this is a part of Ladakh where there are some villages where these people are believed to be the Aryans, the descendant of the Alexander the Great army, and so they wear very traditional. So they don't wear it all the time. It's just uh, they wear. I mean, if you go there as a visitor and then you request them that you want to do a shoot, and then they would prepare themselves, and then you can take pictures. So this is in Meghalaya.
Mm.
It's a very interesting place. The water is so clear
Yeah.
that you can
Yeah.
see what is inside. I'm sure a lot of people have been there, but
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
every time it is like that. So I've been there
Mhm.
several times, but it was only
Mm.
once I got this picture. Sometimes, especially during
Is
the
it
rainy
is it
season,
connected with the season, or it is just by chance that you get those clarity,
uh,
the
it is
clarity?
especially during the monsoon. The water is very muddy in all places, so
Yeah.
you can definitely not get a picture like that.
Yeah.
So once the monsoon subsides,
Mm.
October onwards, October, November, December, you will probably get pictures like this.
Mhm.
Okay, so these are in the different monasteries. This is in Dharmashala. So
Mm.
Milky Way is one of my favorite things that I love to shoot, especially when we go to places like Ladakh.
Yeah.
This is shot in Zanskar. Zanskar is a not many people
Mhm.
go there. Now the roads have opened up from this year. There are two roads that have opened up to these places. So previously it was quite difficult to go to these places, and So staying there, this is extremely cold there, and we were camping. So it was a great experience to see this because this is one of the darkest places in India. So hardly any population, uh, 50 kilometers far away. So nothing around, no single light around. So some great
So is this
opportunities for.
also multiple shots stitched
No,
together?
this is just a single shot. This is a
Single.
30-second exposure, single shot.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And if you want to see the settings, you can see the at the bottom. You can see the exit information of the picture here at the bottom.
Yeah.
So if anybody wants to know what settings I have used for taking this picture. So I will tell you one more experience about what I learned in travel photography. So initially when I used to go to places because sometimes going to places is expensive and I have a very limited time I'm going to spend there. Sometimes it is very disappointing. I used to get really very frustrated when I go to some place and things does not happen the way I want them to be. And one thing is the rain. So the weather
Mhm.
sometimes is very unpredictable and I I used to get really frustrated when it starts raining and then you can't do anything. So it happened with me once when I went to Bhutan. It was we were just about to start and it started raining and then we could not. So I thought I am definitely not going to stay in my hotel. I just took an umbrella and went out walking in the village. And some of the pictures I got in that walk were some of the best pictures of the trip. So I have made peace with what the nature gives it to me. So if it's raining, it's okay. So I'm expecting something good. So I know that nature will give me with some great pictures, no matter whatever happens. So similarly, once I went to there's a place called Nubra Valley, this Hundar
Mhm.
sand dunes, and the weather was so bad. It was the first time I was seeing snowstorms. So it was nothing, no visibility, and snowstorm was there, and uh, and there I got a very unique shot of one lone camel standing there, and it is all full of sand. So things like that. So what I have learned through these experiences, I just take the way nature gives it to me. Okay, and I believe nature will give me the best. So I consider
Yeah.
myself to be lucky all the time.
Yeah.
So
You
here
have to
again, you
look for
see,
the opportunity there. I
absolutely,
think.
absolutely. So
Mhm.
here you see, it started raining. So this was in Srinagar. So you see, there's a market there, and it started raining.
Mhm.
And I thought, let us go there. I mean, we don't have a choice. We will go there. And you see, everything is so wet, and but still,
Mhm.
we managed to get some interesting shots there, something little different. And of course, Ladakh is all about learning to see the play of light and shadows. And
Mhm.
yeah, so this is the Hanle Monastery. Hanle is one very beautiful place in Ladakh. And so, as I said before, whenever I'm shooting the people, I try to shoot them with the environment. So, what is going on there? So, the environmental portraits. And here, I found this very interesting with this
Yeah,
the
this
line
is
of
interesting.
sheep taking
Yeah.
to human. Okay, so
And he is colorful among all the white sheep
yeah.
there. Yeah.
So this is in the northeast. So I
Mhm.
have traveled quite
Mhm.
a lot in the, but I can still confidently, I cannot say that I have seen the whole of India. So though I have been
Yeah.
to every state except Andaman, Nicobar, and Lakshadweep. So those are the two places which are
Mhm.
left. So, but I've traveled quite a lot. So I'll tell you a little bit about this picture. So when I meet these people, so these people, I consider them to be my own. So I would treat her like the way I treat my granny. So I would, I tell, no, no, I want a picture. No, you have to. And then when you open up, you see people also open up so well, and they consider you as their own. So whenever you are treating them like that, and so here I already did a few pictures, and then she started telling me, you have done enough. You should leave now. Probably, and that's how I got this shot. Okay,
Yeah.
so I think, yeah. So these are also pictures that I take. I take a lot of start trails. So these are basically you can
Mhm.
uh, you take several shots like 100 to 150 shots, and then you can stitch them into one picture. So a fair amount of post processing is required for doing these kind
Mhm.
of pictures. Yeah. So yeah. So I shoot a lot of festivals. And then
Mhm.
of course the landscapes. So I think I'll probably end the session here. So if you have, I'll just keep it open to questions. I hope
Yeah.
you enjoyed. If you did, please type in the comment. I'll be happy to see the comments. Now I can't see, but probably after the session, I would love
No,
to
no,
see your
we
comments.
will read the comments for you. I have one question. All the portraits that I saw that we have done, at least what you showed us were all from the north and, from northeast and other places. I didn't see
Yeah.
any from the south. So that is, kind of, I would like to know what about the south?
I have a lot of pictures from
Um,
the south. Yeah,
you
but
do
I
have.
wanted to yeah. So these are the pictures that I choose. So I have
Hmm.
during my initial first 10 years, I traveled extensively in South India. So in fact, when I was working in Chennai, so this was my routine. So 5 days I would work, and then
Hmm.
Saturday and Sunday I would go to some place. And Chennai is such a great place to stay because you take an overnight train and then you will reach to any corner of South India by taking an overnight train, be it Kanyakumari or be it any
Yeah.
part of Kerala, Kochi or anything. So it was my routine for about 4 years. That was my routine. Every weekend I would go outside. I really have a lot of pictures. Maybe next time if I get an opportunity, I'll show them.
Yeah, I know you must be having a plenty of pictures, and of course, you have to be choosy and you have to stick to one theme. That I understand. But it just occurred to me that I hadn't seen even one picture. That's why the curiosity. Yeah. So, Mr. Sudhanshu says, a great collection. Thank you. Yeah, it is indeed a
Thank you.
great collection. And, huh. So, what language do you speak with them? Is one
Okay.
question. Just come
Okay,
up.
yeah, this is a good question that you asked me. So I don't know many languages. I can speak Hindi. I can speak Bengali. Bengali is my mother tongue. I
Hmm.
can speak little bit of Gujarati. But
Mm-hmm.
whenever I go to any place, I at least learn a few words of that language. Okay, so can I
Mm-hmm.
take your picture, please? This is at least something which I learned. So I when I went to Ladakh for the first time, I asked my driver, so what do you call in Ladakhi? Can I take your picture, please? So
Mm-hmm.
they call it Zuzuchik Naksha capture. Okay, Naksha means picture. So okay, so now
Oh,
I don't look like a Ladakhi. I look like an outsider, and when I go there, speak the same
yeah.
language, it kind of breaks the ice because they think that
Yes.
this guy has taken so much of effort to learn our words, and then he's
Learn.
speaking in that language. Of course, when he replies, I don't understand. Title, I did not understand what he said. But this kind of breaks the ice,
Yeah.
so it definitely made me take a lot of pictures, which possibly I
Mm-hmm.
would have not got.
Mm-hmm. Hmm. Yeah, that's a good thing to know. Yeah, here Mr. Satyaprakash is asking, so interesting completion of photo stories. So much to learn. Thanks for the time given, says.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Yeah,
Thank
there's
you
a
so much.
lot to learn beyond photography is what we learn today. It's not just about, of course, you showed us your beautiful pictures as well, but then there's so much more that you can do beyond that. So
Yeah.
that was a great learning today. Yes, of course. Yeah. There's another question from Madhukarte. He says, can you tell us something of your photo tours?
So I do this photo tours with a small group generally because I also want to enjoy when I go to this place. So my purpose is to take a few pictures myself. So I organize these tours every year. I do at least 5 tours which are in the calendar, but there are a lot of tours which I do ad hoc if I want to go to some place. And so now there are a lot of people who want to join me. So I post them on social media, and then I generally have
Mm-hmm.
few people joining with me. I also sometimes go out. So these tours are a little more organized because they have to uh, they have to be in the places where I have priorly visited previously, and everything is very well organized. We go to places at the right place at the right time. I also sometimes travel with some friends or with my wife to explore a lot of places where I don't know. I mean, I have just read about them. Maybe I just want to go. And so in the Northeast, we did about a 25-day tour in the Northeast. So and it was like a backpacking trip with some friends going from one place to another. So if we like one place, we just
Yeah.
stay there. So and of course, I organize these photo tours to Ladakh and Spiti
So
and
you do
Gujarat.
a lot of research about the time of the year
Absolutely,
that you need to go, and then
absolutely,
and
absolutely, absolutely,
yeah, okay, and you go there with a purpose for that particular
absolutely.
season, is
Yeah.
it? Okay.
Yeah. So especially for the photo tours, I organize my tours based on the moon's position, because when we are going to the
Mm.
hills, it is one thing we definitely want to do is to shoot the stars, and based on
Yeah.
the time of the rise of the moon, we try to go, or I try to coincide it with a festival. So there are some specific dates which are already published in the Ladakhi calendar. So I try to have at least one festival if we can attend. That's how we do it.
So yeah, beginners also are allowed to join your tours, and because a lot of them may not be very familiar with shooting the Milky Way or the night
Right.
photography
Right.
and all that. Suppose you have a new person in your group, how do you go about? Do you coach them a little, or they are expected to know everything when they join you?
There are a lot of people who come even with mobile phones. So and they are little,
Hmm.
they think that will it be worth, because otherwise
Hmm.
other people are also photographers. So I tell them, at least if we get up in the morning and if you see a beautiful sunrise, or if you see the Milky Way with your eyes, it itself is a overwhelming experience. And there are people all different skill levels. Some people who are very experienced,
Hmm.
and there are some people who are just newbies, who probably they are using their camera for the first time. In fact, some people have
Hmm.
come just buying a camera and then coming for the trip, so they
Uh-huh.
need little more guidance on how to. But I have to prepare them
Hmm.
just before the trip. I mean, just trying
Hmm.
to give them a flavor of the place, or telling them okay what to
Hmm.
do. So asking them to do their homework really well, so that they don't have to struggle, because every
Yeah.
moment is so precious when you go there.
Yes. And how many people do you take on maximum number?
So nowadays I take only 6 to 8 people. I'm just limited so that everybody can enjoy. Uh,
Yeah. Yes. And Mr. Kashi Subramaniam is asking a lot of sky details in pictures. So how did you achieve that?
okay. So the pictures that you they are, I think, I mean, I have shot with a full frame camera. I mean most of the pictures that you saw have been shot with a Nikon D610 and a D750. And in fact, I some of the later pictures I have shot with a Fuji XH1, which is a crop sensor camera. So I shoot in the raw file format, and I make sure that the details should not get. I'm really concerned about not losing the details. So I make sure that I'm kind of very familiar with the dynamic range of my camera. So make sure that it does not exceed the dynamic range, especially for the skies.
So if we have any more questions, I think we have time for a few more questions. And yeah, yeah, there's one question from Mr. Venkatesha Govindaya. He says you have given a different dimension to photography as well as for photographers. So, a different dimension in photography and for photographers. So, yes, this, of course, is something, which is a takeaway from today's presentation. Yeah, of course. And Chandrasekhar says, you have also proved through your presentation there is really a lot of joy in giving through photography. So well done,
Absolutely.
Saurabh ji, he says. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
So
Thank you
have
so much.
you have you also had an opportunity to give pictures to any other other than like you have done portraits? You said yes, of course, and
Yeah.
any other opportunity where you could present it for say um, not exhibitions. I would call it exhibitions. Where it could raise a lot of money for charity and stuff
Yes.
other
Yeah.
than your
So
own charities. I mean, something
yes,
which has just come out of the blue and where you could contribute something.
there are a lot of these kind of activity which I am involved in. So a lot of
Hmm.
times giving my pictures for different social. Have also volunteered for a lot of these. So sometimes these NGOs they start, and sometimes, so for raising fund also they need some pictures. Otherwise, I mean, if I'm
Hmm.
seeing an NGO and I'm not seeing the work that they have done, I mean, nobody
Yeah.
would believe and nobody would give them money, right? So I have helped documenting the work of so many NGOs. So I just go with them, spend some time, and this has taken me to some very interior parts of India. I will tell you one
Mm-hmm.
very interesting story. Good you ask this question. So once with an NGO, I went to a very interior village in Madhya Pradesh, and it was an eye
Mm-hmm.
opener for me. So generally we think that these villagers and especially the ladies are illiterate and they just uh, they're like housewives. They just take care of the family and nothing else. So this was with an organization, and yes, it's a Swiss-based NGO. And then we went to some very in villages, and then we were documenting how what role an egg plays in their society. So it was with the so we went to these villages, and with little bit of training from the government, these people, they in the villages they all have some place where they can raise the chicks and then they can grow them, and they're making good amount of money. The ladies. So initially their husbands would tell them, why are you going for a meeting? Don't do all these things. Don't waste time. Who will do the your home household work? So these ladies used to say, I will only do, let me go and come back. And that's how they started. And now they are earning decent amount of money. And these meetings, I attended a meeting in the village of this all the ladies who were there. And so the husbands are not, I mean, no male is allowed. So these are only ladies who go there. And they talk like CEOs of companies. I was so impressed to see them. They don't know how to count, but this is how they talk. I mean, they talk about how to grow their sales and how they are going to get better. So there was one lady who did not know how to count. Okay, they
Mm-hmm.
don't know how to read and write. And what she would do every time she would sell 100 chicks, she would put one stone into a bag for every 100.
Mm-hmm.
So they have kind of work very good workaround. So I was so impressed to see that it is such an interior village that from the highway we had to
Mm-hmm.
go till the time the road goes, and then further we had to walk for a kilometer to reach their village. It is so interior, but these people are
Mm-hmm.
so have become so prosperous because of the little bit of help from the government. So I was really very impressed to see things like this.
That's really interesting when you do this kind of photography and when you travel to the interior parts of the country.
Yeah,
A lot of surprises are thrown at you, pleasant
yeah.
surprises, I should say. Yeah, and we have another comment here from Mr. Rajaram. He says, your photography and philosophy of life have unique approach supporting humanity. Wonderful experience sharing.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Rajan, sir.
And well, to talk about some of the equipment that you carry with you, see, you're doing different kinds, you're doing landscape, you're doing
Right,
portraits.
right,
So, what is
right.
the equipment that you carry with you every time?
Okay. So till last year, I was carrying. I will generally, if I am doing an organized travel, I carry two full frame bodies, and with the general kit which everybody carry, which they call it the Holy Trinity, like the wide angle, the 2470 and a 7200. But in 2018, I had a severe backache. I went to Pushkar, and then I was shooting from morning till evening. So even during the afternoon, I was going around looking for opportunities. So that time I thought, let me, I mean, if there is a workaround, I would like to try it. And then I tried this Fuji, and it was little scary for me to go to a trip with only the 1855 millimeter lens. So it was a challenge for me. I thought I'm more confident with all these lenses. I carry these three lenses, maybe a couple of prime lenses as well. So this one trip to Spiti, I carried only one 18 to 55 millimeter lens, and I was so very happy. So last 1 year, just before the lockdown, I was just using the Fuji XH1 with a 18 to 55 millimeter kit lens, and I was very happy, and it gave me a lot of freedom, more flexibility, and I came back with some decent pictures. I was quite happy. So right now, and I continue to do that unless there is a specific requirement that I have to. Of course, if I'm going to for a wildlife safari, I have to carry a telephoto lens. But pretty much nowadays, I've decided to shoot with the 18 to 55 millimeter lens. I also have a Z6 now, so the 2470 f4 lens with the Z6. But most of the pictures that I have done in the past few years, I have used Nikon D610 and a D750 with a 24 to 120 lens. That is my favorite lens which I used to have. So
So, any other tips for travel photography? I mean, people.
so yeah, so I already told about that, and I would like to repeat it. That don't just go after the pictures. Try to absorb, be in the moment, and enjoy the place. Come back with a great experience. Of course, the pictures are byproducts. They will be there, but the memories that you go when you go to the place and interact with the people. So interact with the people. So and
Yeah,
so a lot of times, I will tell you, the first time I went for a wildlife safari, I was very excited to see only the tigers. I wanted to see only
mhm.
tigers and nothing else. And
Okay.
then it was a very
Yeah.
disappointing trip for me because I could not see. But then somebody told me that a forest is not just about tigers. There is so much else to see. So if you cannot see a tiger, look around. There is so much of beauty, so many birds here, so much of wildlife. See the foliage; it looks so beautiful. The light is so. It's such a beautiful place. So I realized my mistake, and then now I go just to enjoy the forest if I'm going to a forest. And pictures, of course, tigers, of course, are byproducts. So that's what I feel. So if I get a tiger, it's okay, or I'm just going to enjoy
Yeah.
the moment. So even if I'm not getting anything, the nature is so beautiful. And one friend photographer says nature never disappoints you. I always remember this, and
Yeah.
I can actually see this. So no matter wherever I am going, whatever I am doing, nature never disappoints you.
Absolutely. Nature has some hidden beauty in every corner. You just have to look at it. That's it. I
Yeah,
remember once when we went on, safari tour to Bandipur from YPS. It was organized by YPS. And I think for 5 days we stayed there and we used to take all the safaris, all the three together. And I think in those days, I think we did about 15 together, I think. And not on one did we see a tiger, but each safari, each drive into the forest was so wonderful. That itself was so enjoyable. It was like we were in heaven. So,
absolutely.
it's not only about the tiger, like you say, but of course, for those who haven't seen a tiger, they always want to see it for the first time
Right,
because the experience of, seeing it live is, and in the wild, is
right.
totally different. But after that one experience, then I think people should move out from there and then, see the beauty around in nature. And Mr. You were also talking about all these charities and the NGOs that you contribute to. So, is
Yeah.
this information available on your on your Facebook page or where on your website if you have one?
Uh,
How if people are interested in contributing? So, how do they
they
get
can
this
just.
information?
I don't have it
Because
there,
it
but
is difficult. Like you said, you don't know.
yeah. Hmm, yeah.
No, what I
So
was
lot
saying
of
is you
times,
don't know how well that NGO is working. So, you need some
right.
authentication from a known person.
Definitely, definitely. Because I have
Yeah.
seen in this experience, I've seen lot of fake NGOs who are just set up to, make money or do some other activities. So there are a lot of like that as well. So sometimes it is better to check the authenticity of the NGO to see if they are really doing good work. And if you spend some time with them, you will definitely come to know if they are, they are working genuinely or
Hmm.
not. Uh, Rangde website is rangde.org. Yeah. So you have
Yeah.
spelled it
We'll
right.
bring
You
it
just
up
have
on
to
the
put
comment.
in. Yeah. So yeah, you can
Oh,
get
it's
associated
around
with
there.
them. I really appreciate their work. So it is headed
Hmm.
by Smita and Ram. So these two people, they were in the UK. They quit their jobs, came to India, and then they started this NGO, and they are doing really good work. So really good work. They
Hmm.
also need people to document. So Rangde is definitely an organization which you can get associated with. You can help them document their activities. There is also another. Maybe I will post it in the comment of this video. So there are some organization which you can get associated with. There is another organization called PARI, PARI. So you can help So this is one of the largest repositories of the world, I think. So you can document any place and then you can write a blog in their website. So they have a huge repository of different places, even from the interiors of India. So I will maybe you can see the comments tomorrow. I will just post the links whatever I have in there.
Yeah, that would be great. And of course, they can also find it on your website. Your website, this thing was, yeah, there you can check it out on his website as well, and you can get to know about everything. Yes, yeah. So this yeah, everything good has to come to an end. So today's presentation, yes, we come to an end for today's presentation. It was really wonderful, and it was an eye opener. And of course, your talk about in detail about how you can go beyond photography and how you can give back through this medium was indeed educative and very helpful. So we
Thank
thank
you, ma'am.
you, and I thank you on behalf of the executive committee and our members, for this wonderful presentation.
Thank
And
you.
of course,
I
we look
really
forward to a
thank
lot
you.
more.
Yeah, I really thank YPS and Satish sir and to you for giving me this opportunity. It was a great opportunity for me as well. So thank you so much.
So before we end the session, the announcements. Yeah, we'll go through the announcements again, and yeah. Yeah. So here again, is the details, information about how you could join our uh, club and become a member. Please do visit our website, ypsbengaluru.com. You can find us on Facebook, on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. So do not forget to like our page so that you get all the notifications. And also on YouTube, please do hit the bell button so that you get all the notifications about the wonderful programs we have been having every Sunday. It's been months now since we started. We started, I think, somewhere around May, and without having missed out even one, we have been, having presentations every Sunday. So this is one opportunity where you can learn a lot from anywhere around the world. So this is, yeah, it's a great opportunity. Yes, so do become a member if you're not one, and I did like to say about the next week's presentation as well. So if that, yeah, it is by Dr. Ajit Huilgol. It's about Antarctica, the lost frontier. So he has documented, a wonderful pictures about this part of the world. It's not reachable for a lot of us. So it will be really interesting to see these pictures as well, and it's the right time. So do make a note, and of course, uh, you know, be set for the reminders as well. So we'll see you again next week at 5:30. So stay safe, and good evening and good night to all. Yeah, thank you again, Mr. Saurabh. Yeah. You're muted, Mr. Saurabh. Yeah, you're muted.
Yeah, thank
Yes.
you, ma'am. Thank you so much.